What's good, YouTube? This is my first video. I just felt like I had a really good idea for something 2K could do with the archetypes in 2K18. Now, this is my first video, so I do apologize if the sound quality is off in any way. Now, before I get into the actual topic of this video, let me tell you a little bit about the gameplay. Now, I know it's almost February, and most people don't care about gameplay at this point. I mean, let's just be honest. But what happened was, I was just hopping on the tubes with my friend, you know, normal shit. And then all of a sudden he started lagging and he lags out. On a side note, man, the 2K servers are trash on Xbox. Can we please get something done? My internet connection is good and I never lag on any other game, just 2K. On top of the fact that he lagged out, I was playing horrible at the start of this game, just horrible. I do end up turning it around though, as you'll see here soon in this video, but that's not what's important. The idea that I came up with is that 2K should have a primary and a secondary archetype for you to choose from. For example, let's say you wanted to make a player that could shoot like Steph Curry and dunk like Russell Westbrook. You would make sharpshooter your primary archetype and slasher your secondary archetype. The way I thought would be fair would be to make it so you can get all your Hall of Fame badges for your primary archetype and gold badges on your secondary archetype. Another example you could use is just one single NBA player. Take LeBron for example. What is LeBron really? You can sort of make LeBron in 2K17, but not really. If you make a 6'8 playmaker or point forward, you're basically like LeBron, but you could still be more accurate if you were able to use two archetypes. The two archetypes that I think would accurately represent LeBron would be a point forward and a slasher. Of course, there would still be players in the NBA you wouldn't really be able to accurately represent, like take Kawhi Leonard for example. You could make a lockdown defender and a sharpshooter and call it Kawhi, but Kawhi is able to drive more than that. Which brings me to my next point. Should we use 3 archetypes instead of just 2 when making one single player? I feel like it would be a good idea to have a primary, secondary, and a tertiary archetype to choose from. Now, I bet some people are wondering what the word tertiary means. I'll keep it simple. Tertiary basically means 3, which you could probably guess if you were just inferring off what I've said already. This way you'd be able to make a player like Kawhi Leonard, who is basically a lockdown defender, a sharpshooter, and a slasher. What the developers at 2K don't understand is that people want to be able to make players that can play like their favorite players in the NBA. In some cases you can do it like me. I have a 6'2 speed boosting sharpshooter that's got long arms and he plays basically like Stephen Curry. Another thing that I think 2K has to change is the shot creator archetype. Not because it's overpowered. I feel like the shot creator is actually just an average archetype. Can you think of anybody in the NBA or even NBA history that was better shooting a leaning fadeaway shot rather than standing still? Because I know I sure can. Even if 2K does decide to not add a secondary archetype or tertiary next year, they should still get rid of the shot creator and replace it with a different archetype. Now, I bet some of you are wondering, what could they possibly replace the shot creator archetype with? And my answer to that question is the scoring machine. Now, I bet you're thinking, whoa, that just sounds overpowered. I can explain to you exactly how they can make this archetype completely balanced in 2K18. This is assuming that in 2K18 the archetypes play about the same as they do in 2K17. This hypothetical scoring machine would have an 80 layup and dunk, an 85 mid-range, and an 80 3-pointer. Some people are probably saying, how the hell is that balanced? Relax, I'm gonna get to it right now. In order to make this archetype balanced, they would have to make it so it gets less rebounding and defense. And I'm not talking about just a couple less bars of defense, I mean a significant decrease. Like, I'm talking lateral quickness in the 40s for a guard that's like 6'5". One thing I've had a tough time deciding on is if this player should have enough ball control to speed boost at every height, or should they have to be very short to be able to speed boost. I'm not really sure what would be balanced ball control, but you guys can tell me your opinion on this and help me out. As for the badges this archetype would get, I've had to think about this a lot. I've come to the conclusion that it would be fair for them to get mid-range Deadeye, deep-range Deadeye, relentless finisher, acrobat, and difficult shots. Those badges would make it so they're able to score in several different ways like their archetype suggests. I'm not finished yet though. What about a scoring machine big man? I've only talked about the guard so far. Even though DeMarcus Cousins probably has more defense than a scoring machine big man would have, a scoring machine big man should have a 90 layup and dunk, 80 mid-range, and a 75 three-pointer, along with horrendous defense and significantly decreased rebounding, which is probably somewhere in the 60s. A scoring machine big man should be able to have relentless finisher, posterizer, catch and shoot, mid-range deadeye, and corner specialist. I feel like it would be a very good archetype, but it would still be balanced within the game. That's all I've got to say for you guys. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and please comment with your thoughts and opinions on this topic. You can stay and watch these last few minutes of gameplay if you want to. There is a crazy finish at the end. I'm out. Peace.
way down.